Negotiators from the United States, Iran, and 5 other world powers have extended the deadline on nuclear talks to Wednesday. Iran says one major sticking point here has been resolved, but others still remain before any official agreement can be made.
Sanction relief issue has been resolved, not today or yesterday. We have had long discussions on this, but there are issues which are related to sanctions, which are still under consideration. And this is not the only issue on the table.
Today was a deadline for a framework deal on this, but negotiators say they have instead settled on a framework understanding. Different wording there. They hope an agreement could serve as the basis for a final deal to be made in June. Also, as Iran nuclear talks continue in Geneva, One America's Augusta Cassada brings us more this evening from the White House.
Well, the March 31st deadline for a framework agreement is evaporating. So now the wording in these nuclear talks has been softened to a framework understanding between Iran and the 6 world powers known as the P5+1 nations. Now, while these ongoing nuclear talks have been in the news for months, they actually span the past decade because diplomatic efforts to curb Tehran's nuclear advancements have been extended twice before. I sat down with the Heritage Foundation's Michaela Dodge. She's an expert in defense and strategic policy who feels America has lost its advantage by offering too many concessions.
The Iranians know that they're in a better position than the United States because the United States cares about a deal much more than the Iranians. And so they're just taking advantage of their negotiating leverage.
Dodge believes that Iran is better situated because of a covert program they've already built, claiming it will be difficult for America to come to an agreement that would serve its interests and prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons capabilities, especially given the country's track record.
Iran does have a history of non-compliance with international treaties. It has history of supporting terrorist organizations, killing U.S. soldiers in the Middle East. It has a history of planning terrorist plots on the U.S. soil.
Dodge also says that Arab countries are concerned America is negotiating for Iran instead of for itself and its allies.
They're worried that if Iran obtains a nuclear weapon, they will be disproportionately disadvantaged. And so they're signaling that they would potentially be interested in their own nuclear weapons program too, which would certainly not create for a stable situation in the Middle East or for sound relations with our long-term allies.
The March 31st deadline was not meant to be the end-all be-all of the deal. The rough outline or framework understanding still needs to be filled in. Negotiators have until June 30th to reach a final agreement. We'll have to wait and see if this comes to fruition. In the meantime, the White House will likely face more opposition from the Republican-controlled Congress, who would rather see harsher sanctions on Iran. Augusta Cassada, One America News, Washington.